Drop the gun! Show me your hands!
We are told all the time that poverty is the root of all crime. 24/7 Wall Street came out with a list of the poorest city in each of the 50 states in America. We'll go through them alphabetically and see how crime in these cities compares to the national average. A grade of A means that it's better than the national average, and F means that crime is worse than the U.S. average. Union Springs, Alabama. 41% of households receive SNAP benefits. This city has a violent crime rate 260% higher than the U.S. average. Alakanule, Alaska. 39.5% of the households receive SNAP benefits. Overall crime here is 113% higher than the U.S. average. Cibicue, Arizona. 48.4% of households receive SNAP benefits. Crime here is 27% better than the U.S. average. Marianna, Arkansas. Over 40% of households receive SNAP benefits. Overall crime is 87% worse than the national average. Thermal, California has a median household income of $14,500. This city's crime is 31% better than the U.S. average. Rockfor, Colorado. 37.7% of the households receive SNAP benefits. Violent crime here is 17% better than the U.S. average. Canaan, Connecticut. 28.8% of households receive SNAP benefits. Overall crime here is 66% better than the U.S. average. Laurel, Delaware. 47.2% of the households receive SNAP benefits. Overall crime here is 96% higher than the U.S. average. Gifford, Florida. 46.1% of the households here receive SNAP benefits, but crime is 27% better than the nation. Glenwood, Georgia. 16.7% of households receive SNAP benefits. That's a low percentage compared to the rest of these. But this crime is 66% higher than the country's average. Hawaiian Ocean View, Hawaii. 41.3% of households receive SNAP benefits, but violent crime here is 32% better than the U.S. average. Glens Ferry, Idaho. 19.6% of households receive SNAP, but crime here is 72% better than the nation's average. Alorton, Illinois. 54% of households here receive SNAP. Over half of the homes are in poverty, but as far as crime goes, it's 52% safer than the U.S. average. Austin, Indiana. 27.4% of households receive SNAP benefits. Crime here is 39% better than the national average. Oelwin, Iowa. Over 20% of households here receive SNAP, and crime here is 35% better than the U.S. average. Cheopa, Kansas. The median home value here is $54,000, but crime here is 39% better than the national average. Clay City, Kentucky. 32.2% of households receive SNAP benefits. Violent crime here is 100% better than the U.S. average. Many, Louisiana. The median income here is $18,000, but crime here, in the most dangerous state in America, is 94% better than the U.S. average. Machias, Maine. Over 38% of the households receive SNAP benefits, but crime here is 91% better than the national average. Federalsbur, Maryland. 46% of the households in this small town receive SNAP benefits. Crime here is 30% worse than the nation. Ware, Massachusetts. Nearly 30% of the homes here receive SNAP benefits, but overall crime is 60% better than the nation. Baldwin, Michigan. 41% of homes here receive SNAP benefits, and crime here is 58% better than the U.S. average. Aurora, Minnesota. 28.4% of households receive SNAP, yet crime here is 47% better than the nation. Rosedal, Mississippi. The median household income here is around $16,000, but crime here is 48% better than the country. Versailles, Missouri. 26.7% of the homes here receive SNAP benefits. Crime here is 42% better than the U.S. average. Plains, Montana. Over 1/3 of the households here receive SNAP benefits, and crime here is 50% worse than the national average. Falls City, Nebraska. Over 10% of the city's households receive SNAP benefits, a low number compared to the most cities on this list. and crime here is 58% better than the country's average. Tonopah, Nevada, 11.2% of households receive SNAP, another safe city with crime rates 46% better than the nation. Ashland, New Hampshire, 14.1% of the homes here receive SNAP, but crime here is 9% better than the nation, and violent crime is 88% better. Salem, New Jersey, over 35% of the homes here receive SNAP benefits. Crime here is legitimately bad. Overall crime 132% worse, and violent crime 431% worse than the nation's average. Twin Lakes, New Mexico, 42.7% of households here receive SNAP benefits, yet violent crime here is 73% better than the U.S. average. New Square, New York, a whopping 70.3% of households here receive SNAP benefits. Over 70% in poverty, yet crime is 12% better than the nation. Scotland Neck, North Carolina, median household income of $16,000, 46% on SNAP, and crime here is bad. Overall crime is 12% worse than the nation, and violent crime is 203% worse. New Rockford, North Dakota, 17% of the households receive SNAP benefits, much higher than the state's 6.4% average. But this city is safe, with crime rates 51% better than the country's average. Lincoln Heights, Ohio, nearly 2/3 of the households here receive SNAP. The median income is just over $12,000. You'd think with these numbers this city would be dangerous, but its crime is 34% better than the nation. Weumka, Oklahoma, 21.6% of households receive SNAP, and home prices average around $62,000. Crime here is 81% worse than the U.S. average. Grand Ronde, Oregon, 46.2% of the homes here receive SNAP benefits, but crime is 45% better than the nation's average. Braddock, Pennsylvania, over 40% of the households receive SNAP, but violent crime here is 63% better than the U.S. average. Central Falls, Rhode Island, 33.7% of the households receive SNAP benefits. Crime here is 34% better than the nation. Blackville, South Carolina, nearly 46% of the households receive SNAP benefits, and crime is slightly worse than the nation at 4% worse. Fort Thompson, South Dakota, 44.1% of the households here receive SNAP benefits, but crime is 41% better than the country. Jamestown, Tennessee, 46.2% of the households receive SNAP, median income of $18,000, median home value of $68,000, yet crime is 40% better than the U.S. average. Carrizo Hill, Texas, median household income of just over $9,000, yet crime here is 38% better than the national average. East Carbon, Utah, nearly 26% of households here receive SNAP, and the crime here is 37% better than the U.S. average. West Brattleboro, Vermont, 26.8% of homes here receive SNAP, and crime here is 71% better than the nation. Jonesville, Virginia, 48% of homes here receive SNAP. Average income is just over $17,000, yet crime here is 54% better than the U.S. average. Oroville, Washington, over 30% of the households receive SNAP benefits, and although violent crime here is 38% better, property crime is 199% worse than the national average. Williamson, West Virginia, 37.9% of all homes receive SNAP, and the median income is just over $18,000, yet crime is 87% better than the U.S. average. Lac du Flambeau, Wisconsin, 18.1% of households receive SNAP, and crime here is 62% better than the nation. And Fort Washakie, Wyoming, over 20% of households receive SNAP benefits, and crime here is 60% better than the national average. Although there were some of these cities with really bad crime rates, only 12 of the 50 cities had crime rates worse than America's average, or 24%. So you could look at those 12 cities and argue poverty is the cause of crime in America, or you could look at the 38 other cities and say poverty may play a part in crime, but there are more issues at play here. Let me know in the comments where you stand on this. Is poverty the root cause of crime in America, or is it something else?